Hello everybody, welcome back to podcast number 2. We are filming this back to back, so we don't have a name for it yet, but eventually we will. Who knows, maybe it'll have a title on here if we come up with one before this is posted. If that's the case, insert here.
And if you have any topic suggestions, please leave them down below.
Yes.
So this one we discovered we were going to talk about in our last one, which is animal rants. And he's actually right here. Not sure if you can see him because he blends in pretty well.
His head's right here. I'm in all black. He's all black. His nose is right here.
That's why I'm sitting forward.
You probably saw it in the last podcast. If you watched / listened, he crawled up behind us. This is the position he switched to when we went to switch the camera out.
Yep. So I'm a bit uncomfortable, but that's okay because dogs first. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. So this rant mostly pertains to my dogs.
Yeah,
Ashley definitely has a few stories of her own. So I guess we'll start with, I have 2 Great Danes, right? Winnie's pretty big. I think he's average size. Maka's a little bit smaller than the average size for a Great Dane. But when we bring them out together, that tends to create a lot of traction. So before COVID, we would actually get cornered by a whole crowd of people. Ashley can attest to this because she's seen it. Mm-hmm. We would get cornered and stuck because people would ask us questions, want to pet them, take videos of them, take pictures of them. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's like they're seeing a unicorn.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Winnie is very scared of strangers. Now, he's fine in public. He will ignore everyone and everything. His personal request is not to be touched. It's just what he doesn't want, and we all respect that. Maka, however, she does love strangers, and she does love to be pet, but she also has a limit. So once, she gets, a certain amount, she's done, she's tapped out, because she likes to keep moving and walking, and we can't because we keep getting cornered. So there's times when, even Ashley's brought Obi out with us, and it's we just all go ahead and walk. There's this one time that we were at the beach.
Oh my god.
And we were just walking the dogs, and Ashley would legit have to stop people, and she had her own dog. And she'd be like, you can pet him, because Obi's very friendly. He's a very sweet dog. And you would go, you can pet Obi if you want, but obviously they just wanted to pet the 2 big ones.
Especially him, because he's the bigger one, and he's, of course, the one that does not want to be pet.
Yes. And Ashley would legit have to people and go, no. And some people would just go ahead and pet Winnie without us asking. And he does not bite. We're not afraid of him doing that, but
you still don't want to take any chances, and you want to respect a dog.
Don't push him, because there was one time we were at the outlets, and we were walking, and as we were walking, someone just ran their hand down his back, and he peed himself. You need to respect it. Just because they have big dogs doesn't mean we want any attention.
And just because they're in public does not mean they're there for your personal gain. They're not there to be pet by you. Nope. They're out to have their own personal time. Like in the case of them, they're fine in public, but don't want to be touched by strangers.
Yeah, which is perfectly acceptable. They behave otherwise, and they just want to go about their business. We've had people get down to their level, and let me just say, never ever get down to a dog's level, especially a dog you do not know.
You're right in the bite zone.
You're in the bite
that point,
zone,
you deserve it.
And that is threatening to them. Looking them in the eyes, if they don't know you, that is a threat, and they will perceive you as such. Now, Winnie will growl underneath his breath, where only me and Mom can hear it, but he does it. People will crouch down to him and Maka's level and take a selfie. And they've done that without asking, and we have to not freak out because we don't want the dogs to freak out, so we have to let it happen at that point because it's already happening.
Obviously, if I was there, if it was my dog, I would have been like, what the hell are you doing? But also, I just want to know, the people that take selfies, where are those selfies going? Who are you showing them to?
I'm assuming Snapchat, because I've never seen my dogs circulate the internet.
It's look at this dog I got a picture with. It's what are you trying to, it's a dog.
Yeah. He's a big boy, but they're not rare. There's Great Danes that walk around all the time. I see them. But they walk around our town all the time. They're not rare.
Now, if it was a horse, that's one thing. And again, only do that with the owner's permissions, because they're kind of like him. Like, he doesn't have blind spots like a horse does.
No.
But they get spooked. Basically, any animal you see.
Yeah.
Be respectful. My dogs, mine are on the smaller side. Mine are only about, like, just over 50 pounds each.
All mine are over 100.
So my dogs are, like, a third of the size of hers. So, like, if I'm out with them, like, my dogs the people never ask to, like, pet them. But if I'm, like, out by myself, though, people will, like, ask. Luckily, I think it's because mine aren't as, like, much of a, I guess, attractive breed. Like, a breed that people easily recognize. They're like, oh my god, a Great Dane, Scooby-Doo, I've never seen those before. People aren't as aggressive with petting mine.
I'm not saying don't come and ask questions, because there's some people who will stay at a good distance and just ask us. Or some people go, oh my god, I used to have one. And then they'll ask permission to take a faraway picture. Not with him, just go, my dog used to look like that, can I just take a picture
And usually it's because those people understand what the dogs are like.
Yeah, because they usually had Great Danes. And most Great Danes don't like to be approached by strangers.
Yeah, something that they've learned, like, since they have Great Danes, is that they're very big, but they're also very skittish.
Yes.
They're very, like, they love the people that they live with, not so much strangers.
Yeah.
And any dog is, no matter, like, how gentle they are, if they are scared, they are an animal. They will react, possibly negatively. So
we had to get Winnie used to Ashley. Ashley just couldn't come here right away and see him. We'd be like, Winnie, this is Ashley, and we had to do that a few times until, look at him now, he loves her. Right?
He punches me to pet him.
It takes a bit, and when me and my mom go out with them, if we see people looking at us, we avoid eye contact and we will speed walk just to not get cornered, because we literally get cornered all the time.
It
Do
really
not corner us, especially with two dogs that are so big.
Never corner a dog. Dogs hate to be cornered.
I get it. They're cool looking, I guess. I don't know, but they just...
Don't flock. Don't be aggressive. Because it's not fair to them. Like, they like going out with their dogs. Their dogs like going out, and that's being ruined for them because people are cornering them and, like, crowding them and just not being respectful.
Because they are really well behaved when they're out.
You got my hair, dude.
Because they're well behaved out in public. Now, sometimes what we'll have to do is Maka's not as big as Winnie, so she's not as impressive. Because it's mostly Winnie that they want to get at. But we'll have to divert their attention to Maka because she doesn't mind being pet. Have them pet her and be like, do not approach him. Just do not. I hate saying, like, he's not mean. And it sounds like I'm saying he's a mean dog, but he does not like to be pet by strangers. And if he wants to go at you, I cannot stop him because he is too big. And I'm not afraid of him doing that ever.
And obviously, if something happens, she will try to get him, but, like, because of his size, because, like, things like that happen in an instant. So
and that's
by the time she's able
dog.
to, any dog, no matter the size, by the time she's able to do something, damage is already going to be done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's just awful. And Maka, like I said, also has their limits, but people just, without permission, will just go ahead and pet them because they're at hip level, pretty much, so they're just easy to reach out. And we're walking by people in public, and people just reach out and pet them all the time. And I have to say, don't do that. And, like, there's a few times on trails, me and Ashley, Maka and Obi, Maka grew up with Obi.
So, my Obi is an old boy. He actually just turned 14 this month.
Yes.
So, here, we can throw in some pictures of my dogs.
And we have pictures of Maka and Obi together, too.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this but not watching, we'll also post some pictures on our Instagram.
Seen them somewhere.
Yeah, but we'll post them on Instagram with this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, Maka grew up with Obi. She loves Obi. Now, Maka does not like seeing dogs out in public. She will not hurt anybody. She just doesn't like other dogs approaching her when she's on leash.
Sometimes she gets overexcited.
Yeah.
Sometimes she just gets threatened.
Yes.
It could be dependent on the breed and also just on how they approach her.
She does not like, huskies. She does not like huskies. She's scared of them.
Doesn't she not like retrievers?
She's mean to retrievers. So she's never hurt another dog. But yeah, sometimes she gets way overexcited. She's like, play, play, play. Or other times she's like, I do not like this dog. So we just say no dogs in general for her unless she already knows them and just been introduced to them. So she is people friendly, not dog friendly. And that's the opposite with Wendy. So me and Ashley have taken them to trails before, and we've had people who have dogs off leash. Now, I don't have a problem with dogs being off leash as long as they listen and do not approach other people, because there's been dogs on trails that have run straight at us, and I have to try to get Mako away, because obviously that's a threat to her. She's on leash, they aren't.
Mm-hmm. And again, she's large. When she starts prancing and trying to run, she's hard to control.
Yeah.
When I'm with her, there have been times where I've had to help her hold Maka back and help distract her.
Yeah, and the owners, every time this happened, are all the way far back, and we have to go, our dog's not friendly. Our dog is not friendly. Yeah. And it will not be my fault if my dog messes up your dog, because my dog's on leash.
Yeah. And then a lot of the time when they get up to you, they just stand there with their dogs and they're like, oh, sorry, and then take forever to go away. It's leave.
Yeah, because she's bouncing and jumping. Yeah. Sometimes she's growling and barking at the same time, because obviously they rushed at her, and that is scary for any dog, friendly or not. It doesn't matter. That is scary. And we've had to use Obi as an distraction to the other dogs. So Obi loves everyone and everything. Yeah. He doesn't care. So we've had to let the other dogs try to play with Obi, and I've had to, take Mako away. And I've had to scream at other people's dogs and say no and hope that they listen. Because if Maka plays, she plays rough too. And all these other dogs are smaller than her.
She's a big dog, 110 pounds, 105, something like that.
115 is most. And if she plays rough. And all these dogs that we've had this encounter with are small. She could accidentally hurt them. And so, just, if you let your dog off leash, then I want them, by your side. Mm-hmm. Because it is not fair for me, my dog's leash, and I'm going on a trail with Ashley. She also has her own dog, which means she potentially cannot help me, because she's got to worry about her own dog. And and Obi keep being used as bait.
Poor Obi.
It just can't happen.
See, and
don't be a mile behind your dogs, because dogs that go out in public don't have to be friendly. And I hate the assumption that if your dog goes out, they're friendly. If they go out, it means they can behave themselves. And they will ignore everyone and everything. They will not react.
See, I've had similar situations where, so I have Obi. I don't think we had Taffy when this happened. So I have two dogs. I have Obi, who's 14. I've had him since he was a puppy. So I've had him 14 years. And we have a new girl, Taffy, who we adopted in the end of June. So I think it's been about 8 months or so since then.
She has a lot of energy.
Yeah, she's very young.
She smells a lot too. Not smelly. I mean, she uses her nose when she's outside and
Yeah. So she is so from what we were told, she's a boxer blackmouth cur mix. She's such a sweetheart. She's a goofball, but and she's good with dogs. She loves Obi. Because he's so old though, sometimes she's too rough on him, and she knocks him to the ground trying to play, so he'll snap at her. But we're just they get along so well. They'll lay against each other, and they're so cute. But they're both sweet. But because of when we got Taffy, and since it's been well, first of all, COVID makes it hard to get her out and about, and then also we're in New Hampshire. It's cold. Yeah. It's snowy, and she's. Yeah. She was rescued as a stray from Florida, I think. So she's not used to the cold. So she's still getting used to it. So it's hard to get them out and socialize them, because she gets along with dogs. Because she's so hyperactive and stuff, we're not sure how she does with little kids. It was recommended that she doesn't go to a home with little kids.
And for those thinking, we have not introduced her to our dogs yet, because she's so energetic. Maka's not up for that.
Yeah, and we need to do it outside, and outside is just not happening right now. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the one time that she's met kids, we were in our local pet store with her, and there's a mom with a couple little kids, probably 3 or 4, the youngest, and they were can we pet your dog? So I was let's try it out, use them as guinea pigs. So I was let me just get a handle on her first, because she's anxious in new situations, so she was kind of in the pet store and looking around. So I had to we have these harnesses for them. They look kind of like service dog ones, the same type, they strap around the front around their breastbone, and they have a handle on the back mainly so I can grab her because she's a puller and she'll flail. But so I was holding her with that, and they went to pet her, and luckily she did not care at all. I think she was just still taking in the surroundings. But anyways, I went off track. The story I was telling, me and my mom were on a trail walking Obi. I'm pretty sure this happened with just Obi. I cannot remember it, but I'm pretty sure it was with just Obi. And we were walking on this trail in the woods that are like behind some schools that we live by. And all of a sudden, these two, I think they were border collies, just come bounding down the trail. And we've seen them before. I think we've probably come across them walking together too.
I'm pretty sure.
They have like an older guy as their
definitely.
owner. And they just came bounding over to us, and I was like, oh, jeez. And luckily, they were friendly and approached him. They were just sniffing each other. And so I think I yelled into the woods. I was like, can you get your dogs? And he finally like meandered over. And
just a reminder, if your dog's friendly doesn't mean other dogs are.
No.
Remember that. Please remember that.
Yeah, like if my dog was not like, that would have been like a fight. And it's like, I can't like hold back mine while also holding back two other strange dogs. Mm-hmm. How do I know those dogs aren't going to attack me or attack my dog? And it's just not a good situation for anybody.
Because there's been times that we've gone out filming, and if we see a dog go down the trail, because we film at trails a lot, we'll step off the trail, give them space, and allow them to go. And there's been times where they go, my dog's friendly, and we're like, that's fine. We just want to give you appropriate amount of space because we don't know you, we don't know your dog, and we want to respect. We want to respect that, because if you're on a trail, then your dog might not like anybody or anything, and that's why you're walking on a trail.
Plus, half the time we're out there, I'm like covered in blood, or have like prosthetics or something, and some dogs get weird, like if like people's faces just look weird or they can't completely recognize that it's a face, they get really freaked out.
We used to have one dog that didn't like it when you wore hats because you looked different to them.
Obi didn't like when you wore hats. Like Obi, I don't think he has as much of a problem now, but when he was younger, he didn't really like men, and especially if they were wearing hats. It was really bizarre. Like, I know, like, family gatherings for, like, holidays, some people he doesn't like. He likes everybody except a couple people. Like, he's scared of some of my family members, like my grandpa and my aunts, I think. He's gotten over them, though. They befriended them. He's still kind of a little cautious of my grandpa. When he would get up to go to the bathroom, when we'd come back, he would start barking at him. And there's one of my dad's friends he doesn't like. I don't know, it's really random, but he likes pretty much everybody else. It's just certain people he doesn't like, but he would get, like, really weird if, I have kind of a funny story, if they were wearing hats. So one time, it was a couple of years ago, I want to say, I was cleaning up my room, and I was bringing up a couple things to send out to like Goodwill to like donate and whatnot. So I was loading up the car, and it was kind of raining a little, so I had a hoodie on, and I had the hood on my head still. And so when I came inside, I came up the stairs, and Obi barked at me, and then he jumped at me. Like he leapt up at my chest, and then he was like, "Oh, it's you!" And I was like, "Were you gonna attack me?" He just didn't recognize me. It was funny, and he was so happy when he saw that it was me. I was like, "You just saw me go out."
Yeah. It's also
funny
because this reminded me when I was just talking about the children, but PSA, watch kids. Don't let your kids run up to dogs.
Oh, yeah.
So, for example, Maka is scared of children. She will not do anything to them. If they really want to pet her, she'll let them, but she's not happy about it. But I think it's because they're about her height, and they can look her in the eyes, and I don't think she likes that. And she's never really been around children because we got her when everyone was grown up. And there was a time that, it wasn't too long ago, the last time we went out to the outlets with Maka and Winnie, this kid, really small, ran up to us, and I had to yell at the kid and say no. Because I was two big dogs and a tiny kid. Obviously, I'm not afraid of my dogs.
That kid might as well be running towards an incoming train.
And the parents were just watching her run at our dogs. And they're just like... And then as soon as I yelled no at the kid, then did they come and get the kid. Yeah. Don't let your kids do that. It's scary to dogs because they're about the size, their eye height. And listen, I'm not saying you don't ever pet a dog if you're out. No, what you gotta do is give a respectable distance and ask.
Ask permission.
Please always ask.
Doesn't matter how big, how small, doesn't matter what breed. Any dog you see, always ask them. And plus, especially, oh my god, this brings me to the topic, service dogs.
Yeah.
Therapy dogs. Never go and touch them, especially without asking. But even, you shouldn't ask. You're distracting them.
Feel free to look at them, admire their beauty from afar.
Be like, that's so a good working dog.
Be like, so cute. But don't, You can ask the owner about the breed if you want, but ignore the dog if it's a service dog.
Oh, one thing, I'll just jump on the service dogs before I jump into this other story. Don't distract them either. Don't try to get them to look at you, because you don't know what they're servicing. They could be trying to listen, like, sense their owner's body language, make sure they're not going to have, like, a seizure or a stroke or have, like, a diabetic, like, episode or anything. They are doing a specific job, and they need to pay attention to their owner, or maybe they need to help their owner get to a certain place. They are performing a specific duty and doing specific tasks, and you need to let them work. Unless that owner specifically says, like, while you're talking to them, oh, you can pet my dog, then just don't. You really shouldn't even bother asking to pet a service dog.
No, but you're I feel like it's okay if you ask what breed.
Yeah, you can ask questions about it, and
if they're open to it anyways.
And don't, it's kind of, I don't know the taboo on this. I don't know, because I'm not a person with disabilities, obviously. But don't ask a person what their disability is either, or what they need a service dog for.
Unless
that's none of your business.
About it. Some people are very open about it.
Yeah, and they're glad to talk about it.
Very open to a conversation, but
But don't go up and ask people about that. That's none of your business.
No. But like, to end this video, just please respect the distance. Do not corner. Do not corner. If you see a large group already around this dog, it does not mean it's welcomed. And do not join the crowd. Because we've had people who, one person will ask to pet Maka, and we go, okay, sure. And all of a sudden, there's like 20 people.
It's a horde, and we're like...
And we're not exaggerating.
God. No, we literally get surrounded. We had to shove our way out of people before.
Yeah, it's just awful. Just because one person's petting it doesn't mean we want everyone petting. So keep a good distance. You gotta ask. Do not run up to a dog. Do not get down to the dog's level. Please, God, do not. That is the most... unless you know the dog, do not do it. Just don't.
I think I read a...
and watch your children. Keep your dogs on leashes if they will not stay close to your side, because if they come to my Maka and Maka does something mean, that is not my problem, because she was on a leash.
I think what was I gonna say?
Just because your dog's friendly doesn't mean others are.
You made me lose my
And
thought.
they do not have to be friendly to go in public if they can behave.
You made me lose my thought. So I read a thing lately that was about, what was it about? Oh, it was about like letting a dog sniff your hand. I think it suggested, like, don't stick your hand out to a dog to let it sniff you, because, like, that's just, like, getting in its space, and it's, like, personal space, and it can, like, it's a dog, he can smell you from afar. Like, get yourself at, like, a reasonable distance, and obviously still check with the owner, and they'll tell you, like, when it's okay to, like, pet them, and, like, because they know their dog's body language. But basically you just have to, like, look at them from afar and, like, let them accept you or something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Because I'm pretty sure when I met Taffy, I just let her sniff me. I did not pet her. I barely looked at her. I just let her sniff me. I mean, I wasn't afraid of her, but I just let her sniff me and let her do what she wanted.
And she was the type where she was not afraid to, like, get all up in her business. So, but I mean, with strangers, obviously I want to get to socialize her a bit more. She's only had, like, a few interactions, like, at the, like, pet stores that we've brought her to, but she seems pretty people friendly, and, like, doesn't mind, like, going up and, like, sniffing people or saying hi.
But still, you never know. And just please just be respectful. Dogs don't have to be friendly to be out in public. We've taken them out for ice cream before because they can behave, but they don't want to be touched. Him especially.
Oh, there is one time we took Obi and Maka out for ice cream. We were sitting outside eating, and there was this group of teenagers at a table across from us.
Oh my God.
They were being so obnoxious. They kept, like, looking at our dogs, and instead of, like, asking us if they, like, could come pet them or something, I look over.
They were trying to offer Obi ice cream.
I saw them trying, like, teasing my dog with ice cream, and I just shot them a look, and I wish I had been, like, excuse me, and, like, said something.
Please don't.
But basically, I had to, like, take him off the side. I think I took Maka off to the side, too, because they were bothering her.
Yeah, because obviously I trust my dog, but, like, these teenagers were just, like, behind us going, you want some ice cream? And be like, don't.
Yeah,
don't.
It's like, my dog is very food motivated. He will eat that. And
so
it's like,
Maka. She'll take your hand off for a piece of food. She loves food so much.
And it's just like, there was one time,
ignore the dog until you have owner's permission. Pretend they're not there.
I was in the mall. My mom had Obi, I had Taffy.
Gotta wrap up. The camera's gonna die.
Okay. We were in a store, and this kid kept, like, whistling at Taffy, and it was like made her freak out, and she was like, what? And every time we went by him, he was, like, whistling. And again, I wish I had said something, but yeah. Anyways,
we'll wrap up.
This turned into, like, another
we
rant.
Mentioned in the beginning, but if there's anything you want us to talk about, please let us know in the description below. We have just ranted the past 2 episodes, but we can comment on other things.
Yeah, we want less angry podcasts. You always turn them so angry. You just start screaming at them.
I'm not screaming at them.
You were, do not watch it out. Do not do that.
I feel like that's good to say, though.
Well, yeah, it's good to know. But anyways, let us know. We're down for some chiller ones. Let us know what you want to talk about.
Literally anything. We're not afraid. We're pretty open.
Yeah.
And if there's anything we won't talk about, we'll just avoid it.
If you want to know about film stuff, I'm a psychology student. I have a bachelor's in psychology.
We can talk about our final papers. My final paper was pretty interesting. It was about women in horror. Being sexualized, pretty much. But please let us know.
Wrap it up.
That's it for this episode. Bye, guys.